She go. And you know what? I don't know. I think I forgot to measure everything that I was supposed to measure.
Uh-oh.
At least tonight.
You gotta do your homework. I didn't iron anything, so.
Okay, well, I didn't measure anything, so.
We are such the pair.
A peach of a pear. Of course, as always, we will go and say hello to everyone who is a YouTube, not subscriber, but what do you call it? Where you
Viewer.
actually, they don't have to watch the commercial. Everybody else is going to watch a 30-minute commercial, which I appreciate you so much. But I think everybody else gets us immediately.
I lost our video page, so I had to bring it back up. So I'm back now. I was not showing you the top of my head.
Bring it back. Yeah. We had somewhat of a balmy day here. I was able to actually, well, it was cool, but I did open the windows. I like it. I like, it's nice to have some. How's the weather?
Well, I will say our weather is lovely here in Chicago. We were in the upper 60s today. We were kind of dipped into the 50s yesterday, but it was nice and sunny, so it still felt nice. And I still had the windows open. My furnace kept kicking on, but hey, I was going to enjoy some fresh air. Set up a new bird feeder outside my office window so I can watch that and watch the little territory war start between some squirrels today.
Food fight.
Spring is here.
It is indeed. And we'll go ahead and at this point, I think we probably have for everyone who put up with the first little bit of commercials, I believe they're over. So we'll go ahead and say hello. I'm Scott from New Jersey. You know me from the old Curiosity Shop. And this guy is he there? Wait a minute. I have to look at the delay.
Look the other way.
Oh, he's there. Okay.
There you go.
That guy, you probably know who he is as well, but go ahead and tell us who you are.
So I'm Patrick, also known as Trusty Huckster Mercantile, and I am coming to you outside Chicago.
And this is actually our third, right? But only our second sort of official Unbreakables.
And we've had third sale in a row. We did a sale once or twice earlier, just kind of a sporadic thing. And then Scott, we looked into our schedules, and I'm not doing as many sales as I used to. Scott had a gap in his schedule, and we landed in this. And to make things easier for me, make things easy for Scott, Scott can do all of his glass and porcelain and all of his other sales. This one, we're going to do the Unbreakables. Nothing to break, easy to ship.
So no glass, no pottery. And we have expanded from ephemera. You'll see tonight. I'm going to tell you what I have got. I have got some very interesting items for you this evening. Unusual for me. I wouldn't normally sell these on an old Curiosity Shop sale. So listen, welcome everyone. We're glad you're here. If you're chatting, we love it. If you're sitting at home eating rum raisin ice cream and not chatting, we love it.
Rum raisin? Where'd that one come from?
Patrick, come now.
Disappointed in you, Scott.
Ah! Don't tell me you're a pistachio man.
Oh, God, no.
Well, thank you. Okay, because we were getting ready to end this program very quickly.
We have our standards here. Can't have pistachio.
Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to sell about 10 items each. We're going to get started in a minute, and we're going to run until about 10 p.m. I ship from New Jersey. Patrick and I cannot combine orders because he's in Chicago, I'm in Jersey. We both use Pirate Ship to give you the cheapest shipping as possible. If you're new to us, we would like you to go ahead and send us a message tonight to our emails so that we get, I know, and I didn't do it. I need to. So we will need your real name, not just the one you chat under, but we need your real name too. And you'll email us and tell us if you have a PayPal account. If you don't, that's okay, but we need to know if you do or you don't. Your mailing address. Patrick, what else do we need to know?
Pretty much, if just make sure you send the email. So if you ever give us your mailing address so we can calculate shipping, And once you send us an email, we have your email so we can contact you. Amazing. A lot of people think that because you're chatting with us, we can reach out through YouTube, and we cannot do that. So we are not that powerful. But I'm distracted by the comments, and I will say that there's a couple of votes for butter pecan. So I'm on board for that.
There were no rum raisins. I see some fudge swirl. Cynthia Brown wants some fudge. Okay, Cynthia.
And then the other thing, not that that they have to share with us, but information that you guys can know. I will try and get my invoices out by Wednesday or Thursday night. I do this as a side business, and so I do not have my days to be able to dedicate to this. So do give me a little bit of extra time to get invoices. Scott, far more efficient than I am. When do you think your invoices will go out?
Well, this is my full-time gig now. So that means tomorrow morning when the blue jay starts squawking outside of my front porch, and this morning it was at about 5 o'clock, I will jump up and start pumping out those invoices. Indian pudding ice cream.
I just saw that one. I don't know what that is.
I don't. I need some help. Who said that? Julie Gagne or Gagne?
Indian pudding. I do not know what that is.
Is it like a rice pudding, or does it have corn? Is it like a corn-based pudding?
And not get into political correctness, but are we talking about Native American or are we talking about subcontinent?
Right.
Because they could be two very different and very tasty items. But
I'm not selling a single thing until I find out what this is. We're waiting on you.
And Wordsmith took it straight to like WTF is Indian pudding. So hopefully we'll get an answer.
There you go. The pressure is on you, Julie. The whole world is waiting. How many people are watching? 5,000 people are waiting.
But you do have a vote. You do have a vote for rum raisin. Looks like a Trojan for you. Rum raisin and spumante.
Put your hands in the air. Okay. Well, we ran our lips enough.
Yep.
I will allow Patrick to go solo, and it's corn based. Okay.
Corn based and molasses. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Native American. Very nice.
Julie, I want to know where to get it or how to make it. So you better email that to me.
Yeah, because turning that into ice cream. Ooh, corn-based ice cream.
Patrick, I'm going to put you as solo, and I am able to type in starts and stops for you if you would like me to.
I would like you to very much so. I have a couple that'll be just first claim, but this first one I'm starting out. This is actually as a request, and unfortunately, I remembered the request, but I couldn't figure out who made the request because I couldn't find it in the chat history. But somebody asked, "Well, don't you have just doilies?" Well, guess what? I've got doilies. So these are going to be all of these together. This is one lot. All of these will be a $5 start, and there are 5 doilies. So they are roughly 8 to 10 inches. Some are machine made. Some appear to be handmade. This one is, and you can kind of tell even just holding this one, this is a little bit more rigid. So this is more of a cutaway, not as much of a lace, but it's more of a cutaway. So there's a little bit more rigidity to it with flower in the middle. So this is part of the lot. You also have, this is probably my favorite. It's the most delicate one. And this is definitely one that was done by hand. This is thread lace. And so you can see the ends are beautifully done, and it's still in great condition. It's lost a little bit of its shape. It could probably benefit from a little light starch and maybe a very lukewarm iron to push it, to flatten it down. But just the detail on this one is just absolutely gorgeous. This is a little bit larger. I think this one point to point was 10 inches. This one's a little bit of a tighter weave. I do believe this is a crocheted lace. You can see the flower in the middle, and then there's kind of like these little accent pieces in the edges, but then a really nice scalloped border on this one. And then another one, actually, these two are, I can't swear that they're identical, but they're very, very similar. So it's kind of like a pair. And one is slightly larger than the other. So I do think that those might have been done by hand. And then the last one is the traditional fabric centered crocheted outside doily, you know, depending on what you like. All of these great for table toppers, put your candle on there. I guess you might be able to use this one as a coaster, but it is a very thin cotton, light linen in the middle. But beautiful pieces and just things that I've picked up over time. And they're figured, you know what, just do them as a lot. So you can have a little instant collection of doilies. I think I saw a bid come through.
There is a bid, and I will remind everyone, although you don't need to be reminded, get those bids in there. We count these things down, and there's always a lag, and we don't want you to miss out on anything if you see something you like. So there is a $10 bid.
And so then there was, so Grandma 11-1 said that this one is tatted.
I see that.
I've heard the term, but I don't think I would have known what that was. So that is our educational lesson for the day. It is tatted. Thank you for that. So we've got a $10 bid, and I will go ahead and start counting down from that. So we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bid end for all 5 of the doilies. Oh, looks like Ryan might have snuck in there. Hi, Ryan.
I just entered the stop, and I did account for the lag.
And it looks like
it is the Urban Ghost Hunter at 12.
Yep. So thank you, Ryan, for picking that up. I will. I don't think you've bought from me before, so go ahead and send me your information, and I'll get you an invoice. Congratulations!
And just
$10
to be sure,
for a stack of 5 doilies.
Just to be sure, when you say Ryan, you are talking about
the Urban Ghost Hunter.
Okay, very good, excellent. Okay, wonderful. Sorry. Not a problem. Okay, let me go solo. Guess what I've got for you, Patrick?
Oh, Eric. I'm sorry, it's Eric Murphy. Sorry, I said Ryan. It's Eric.
Eric.
Thank you,
Patrick. We're going to begin. Kind sir, can you enter the start
for
me?
You bet.
All right, if you would plug in $15. I've got a 1953 coronation menu.
Nice.
Now, it's in excellent condition. Ooh, and it's $15. Let me back up. At least that's where we're going to start on it. And it is dated, of course, 1953. There she is. Bless her heart, 1953. And this particular menu is from the Princess Hotel in Bermuda.
Oh.
In Bermuda. Let's open it up. And since it's not in French, I can read it to you because parlez-vous no français? Not me. I didn't study any French. But here's the menu on the inside, and it says, Queen Elizabeth II, long may she reign, and indeed she did. And then down at the bottom, it says, God save the Queen. Here is what you would have eaten on Coronation Day, 1953, at the Princess Hotel in Bermuda. You would have had supreme of West Indies fruit, hearts of celery, rose radishes, and olives. Consommé royal. Did you notice how I rolled my R's?
Very impressive, Jersey boy.
You can't say consommé royal. It's consommé royal. You will also have diablotins. What are diablotins? Am I showing my ignorance? I suppose I am.
You got a bid of 15 from Christina.
Well, what in the heck is a diablotin?
That's a new one to me.
I'll spell it. DIABLOTINS. Diablotins.
I'm sure some people are Googling right now, and they will share. Mima's up to 17.
The question is, why Bermuda? Wasn't Bermuda under the British Crown at that time?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so that's the reason why. That was part of the British Empire.
There's a part of me that thinks it still is, but I wouldn't swear to that.
And then we've got, oh my gosh, I knew they were going to get something French in here. Poppetettes.
Okay, now you're going blue.
Poppetettes of Bermuda snapper, London style. I told you I didn't speak any French. Here we go. Now they're talking my language. Roast beef of Old England. Yorkshire pudding. Potatoes, Buckingham, buttered tender June peas, roast Windsor duckling, cinnamon applesauce, spring salad, with coronation dressing. Something Sandringham, which would be Sandringham House. Petit fours.
Nancy Beal to the rescue.
And then
Diablotin.
What?
Small round piece of bread with cheese and then baked.
That's what a diablotion is.
Evidently, yeah.
Boy, that doesn't sound like
It's on the internet. It must be true.
Diablotion sounds like, you need to go visit the bathroom. I mean, that doesn't sound. That sounds like. I'm sorry, I woke up this morning with bad diablotions in my belly. Anyway, the date was June the 2nd, 1953, and there it is. Okay, enough of my running my lips. Let's count it down. I think the high bid is maybe 20.
Yep, Mima's vintage junk is at 20.
Okay, so if you are, what is it, an Anglophile?
Yep.
All right, 10. Ready to count it down. It's not a reproduction. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. I can't wait till next Thanksgiving to say, will you pass the diablotions, please? What? You mean the crescent rolls? Oh, dear. Where are we?
All right. We've got my stop has shown up, and Mima's Vintage Bliss tried to sneak in at 22, but Mima's caught it and jumped it up to 25.
Okay, now listen here. Meemaw Vintage Junk. I don't know you, Meemaw. At least I don't think so.
Mima's got an S at the end of it. Mima's.
I'm glad to know you. And I'm writing you down. Meemaw, would you be so kind as to send me your information? And I didn't put it on screen, but I'll type it in there. It's Old Curiosity Shop 99@gmail.com. And I'll need to hear if you'll send me. Now, make sure you tell me what your real name is too, because I won't know who Meemaw's Vintage Junk is. But I appreciate you bidding, and I'm thankful for it. Thank you, everyone who placed your bids.
And I just put it into the chat.
I appreciate that. You got it in there, right? That's it. So, Meemaw, you just connect with me. I don't know. Okay, you say AKA Julie. Are you chatting under two names? I'm confused. So I have bought from you, Scott. Okay, but I don't remember. Will you still send the information just in case? Okay, I'm going to take it back to Patrick, but I apologize for not remembering you. But yeah, send me your information anyway, because I might not have it, Meemaw. Even if it's on eBay, I still need you to send it the other way around. Thank you so much.
And thank you, KP. I missed the question for the YouTube link. My channel is Trusty Huckster Mercantile. Shockingly, I'm the only one. I can try and drop a link in there once my session is over, but that's how you can find me. Trusty Huckster Mercantile. All right. I think I have enough. I can jump in between linens or between paper and something non-paper. So we're back to paper now. And I've got spring is here, as we've established. So I've got the new Gardener's Answer Book, and that is new as of the copyright 1961. Ooh. So we've got the copyright right in the front page. Copyright 1961, Kansas City, 2-digit zip code. It makes it by definition before 1963. Useless tip of the day, which is not so much useless. It is a nice little booklet. I don't think it was. I'm not sure. Yeah, the pages are not numbered. I would say roughly 60 pages ish, 40, 50 pages. And it gives you a lovely zone map on the back. I'd be curious if anyone's a heavy duty gardener, if the zone map has changed at all.
Where do we start, Patrick? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is an $8 start.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excellent.
If the zone map has changed at all since 1961. And sorry. Thanks, KP, for also pointing that out. But what it gives you, in case you're in Alaska and you want to grow cactus, it gives you all of the instructions alphabetically by the types of plants and flowers that you can grow. There are some illustrations And it provides, see if I can find a short one with a word I can pronounce, because that one I can't pronounce. I can't pronounce that word either, or that one. What is this? It is in English, but they're all Latin words. Crepe myrtle. Okay, I know what a crepe myrtle is. Would you please tell me how to make my crepe myrtle bloom? They are 6 years old. So it's kind of a question and answer, and because it is the Gardener's Answer book. So it gives information on, could you tell me the cause of a whitish powdery mold on the leaves of crepe myrtle and what can be done to remove it? So it is a useful tool for those of the gardening vein. We even have a section on insects, so you can take care of what to do. Patricia say that the zones have changed, and CC is that zone 7 is divided to A and B, and this one does not have that. So a little piece of history about the zones, and it's just a fun little booklet. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because I don't think there's been any bids on. Kind of zip through the rest of it. There's a little bit of color code. There's a section on roses and rhubarb, raspberries, pussy willow. Okay, here's all the parts I can pronounce. But I was in the C's, and we've got cineraria, we've got colchicum, clivia, coleus. I mean, what I Latin like their C's, I guess. Convallaria.
Wow.
Lots of flowers and things I've never heard. Crown of thorns, but you have to look under euphorbia if you want to learn about crown of thorns.
I think a spoonful of euphorbia helps the dye lotions go down.
I was just at the gardening center yesterday, and somebody was asking for the burning bush. They didn't ask about the crown of thorns. So okay, we will stop there. I don't see any bids on this one, so we will just pass this off, and no reason to do a countdown. I'll set it back to possibly sell later, but for now, pass it over to Scott.
Okay, I've got an old book that you're supposed to put stamps in, but think outside the box. You could do a lot with this. We're going to start at $8 on it. It's big. It's about the size of an encyclopedia. I'm going to pull it out of its cardboard sleeve. Now, I'm not a stamp collector, and I know there's a name for that. And I don't. What is it? What's the fancy name for a stamp collector?
Numismatist.
That's it right there. Well, anyway, there's the cardboard sleeve that it goes in. And then this is what the stamp book looks like. And this, of course, is before you would actually have those glassine things that you would lick and then put on the back of the little hinge. There were hinges. Well, this goes back before that. And if you open it up, I don't know if you've got, we're going to start at $8 on this. If you open it up, there is this cellophane glassine, and then you've got all of these little, and so wait a minute, that's the wrong, I think there are a few stamps in it.
Oh, philatelist.
Here it is.
What's the numismatist? Is that a coin collector?
Well, I don't know, but we open it up, and look, there are already a few stamps in it, and
oh, nice.
You can see the way I'll pull a stamp out. So you've got a couple of stamps, and by Jove, it's the Silver Jubilee. I didn't plan that, but there's the Silver Jubilee, 1977.
Eugenia's starting you out at $8.
Thank you, Eugenia. So the stamps slide down, and you've got all these rows of, you've got this little plastic band here, which allows you to slide the stamps in. And of course, you could use it to display stamps, or I don't know what else is small enough to put in there. But there are several pages. I didn't count how many. And the entire book is in excellent condition. So that's the only page that has stamps in it. Yes, I suppose you could put coins in there. Good idea. You could probably put used tea bags in there.
If you went every other one, you could put even photographs in them. You could use every row, but you could do small or your negatives.
And it's both sides. So you've got
nice.
This side, and then you've got this side over here.
And from a collector's side, you're not damaging the stamp. You're not sticking anything to the back of it. So you're just sliding behind.
There you go, Patrick. You're not damaging anything. And you've got actually, it looks like there's probably about 10 pages. So it's in good condition. It's not water damaged.
Ooh, cigarette silks. Nice.
It doesn't have any funny attic or mildew smell. You know, people are sometimes funny about that. This is a smoke-free home. Mine is, but I can't vouch for where this came from, although it has no smell to it at all. So we're going to count this down. I know we did have an opening. Oops, get it back in there. There was an opening bid. And there it is. It's ready for your collection. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. And Patrick will tell me.
I like the slipcase on that too. All right, hit the stop.
Kind of neat.
So I think you've got your maiden bid of Eugenia Buitron at $8.
Eugenia, thank you so much. Excuse me. I've got your info, so you're all set. Patrick, it's your turn.
All right, we are going to. This is a $10 start. So what we've got, I wasn't planning to going to these next because it's 2 paper lots in a row, but because Wordsmith mentioned cigarette silks, I don't have cigarette silks. What I have are cigarette cards. And so this is a complete set. These are a little bit later than, if you follow my channel, I've done a deep dive in cigarette cards. These are a little bit later. These were done by John Player and Sons.
I apologize. Did you give me a start?
A $10 start.
Thank you.
These are the Doncella Golden Age of Motoring cards. You can see it's a series of 24, and this is a complete set. So it's a start at $10. You get all 24 cards, and you can see they were issued by John Player and Sons. These were done in the 70s, and you can tell they're a little bit larger than the cigarette cards that I showed in my collection during my video, but these would be fantastic, whether you're a cigarette card collector or you are just into the automobile history. You've got, this one is the 1922 Rover 8. Every card gives you a little breakdown of what is shown. So the 22 Rover 8 was introduced in 1919. A little history, how much the car cost, and maximum speed 40 miles per hour, but it got 45 miles per gallon. That's pretty impressive. So these would fit lovely in the book that Scott just showed.
They would.
They would be great individually framed. If you've got anybody who just likes we were coming up with the terms, just automobiliana, or is there another term for collecting automobile stuff?
Sounds right.
But just check out these cars. So even though they're done in the 70s, my God, I want that car. Is that a Morgan? No, it's an SS 100, Cara Limited. Check that out. Just love the look, the sexiness of those, the fenders on that. And you get all 24, so you actually get a complete set. So you get an instant cigarette card collection. Just going to show them really quick so you can see what you've got in there. Okay, that one looks like the front end is missing, but I'm assuming it's supposed to be made that way. Fantastic. 24 of these. Frame them individually, frame them into a collage. Make fun of the Gen Zers that don't know how to drive stick.
I know how to drive a stick.
You're not a Gen Z.
I know. I can remember the night my father taught me how to drive a stick. Let's not talk about that.
And it doesn't look like we've had any takers on this one, so I'll finish showing really quick. But unless we've got an opening bid of the $10, I will just pass this back to Scott.
All right, we're going to pull those and then possibly bring those back. It is 8:30. We've got 250 folks with us tonight, and we're so glad you're here tonight. Welcome to now don't forget, every third Monday night, the Unbreakables. You never know what we're going to have here on the Unbreakables, right? I've got for you a beautiful piece of whatever. You're going to have to help me because I'm not real conversant with lace and linen and doilies and all that. But I can tell you that we're going to start off at $19 on this. If you'll put that in for me.
Did you say 19?
19.
Okay.
19. And I'll go ahead and give you the measurements. You ready? 22 by 22. The condition is excellent. Well, are you going to show it to us? I am, but I have to stand up. I have a beautiful piece here. Wait a minute. There we go. Okay, Julie, I think I just got your email. Look at that beautiful square. It measures 22 by 22 square. Thanks for putting that in for me, Trusty. And I'm going to assume that this is something that was machine made. It appears as though it goes back to those olden days. You know how I love my olden days. And I bought this at an estate where there was a lot of old tablecloths and doilies. It was an old house, and the condition is absolutely wonderful. I can't find any damage on this at all. I don't see any rips or tears. And this is perfect for a small table or however.
Yeah, that's a nice size.
So 22 by 22. And we start off at $19. Do not be shy. Jump right in there. It is so pretty. I will zoom in now a little closer and let you see sort of like a chevron design around the outside, and then some squares. Probably machine made. Those of you who are conversant with this type of handiwork, you know what you're looking at.
And all the connecting threads are still in great shape.
They're all there. It is not ripped at all, and it is not dirty. When I first bought this, now it's a little yellowed from age, and I didn't wash it, but it doesn't have any stains on it or tears on it. I don't see, and I've looked it over very carefully, and I see no damage. It looks like Lucille Fritz has a bit of 20. I actually put this on a very small 1930s round coffee table out in my living room, and it looked fantastic. But can you imagine layering that over top of a larger tablecloth? Let's say you have a big table and you've got a larger tablecloth. Put that on top of it in the center. Maybe you've got an old oak table, a fern table, something like that. It's just a really neat small size. And the condition, unbelievable. Do we have any questions?
Everyone's commenting how beautiful it is.
Well, come on and place your bids. Does it smell? No, it doesn't smell, but you can rinse it out, and do what you want. It's, as I said, it's not dirty or stained or ripped or torn.
I really like the detail around the edge, the frame, the little notches in the edge. That
I
just
love
gives it a little bit extra character.
I love those notches around the edge.
It would also help it if your table's less than 22 inches. It would be nice to let it drape because it'll help keep the creases from forming.
That's how I used it on my table out in the my little table out in the front parlor, as I call it. I had it draped over. Here's a small sort of New England style candle table. Not that you need to see me do this, but you get the idea. Oh, come on now. You do something like that. That's probably too
nice.
big. A little too big for that, but you get the idea how it looks on top of a wooden table. It really looks nice. But you can also layer it, with another table on another tablecloth. So let's go ahead and count it down. Here we go, 10. I think we only have one bid, possibly at 20. Yep. And we'll count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. This is lovely. Ooh.
All right. Just saw the fingers count down, and I got my stop. Went up.
Let me put us back in. There we are.
So it looks like you have your inaugural bid from Lucille Fritz.
$20. Now, it was $20, was it not?
$20 from Lucille Fritz. She said she's got an old Victorian table, 23 by 23, so it'll be perfect for it.
Lucille, you are going to flip your lid. It's going to be fantastic. I don't know if you've bought from me, Fritz, F-R-I-T-Z.
Correct.
Okay, send me an email if I don't have your information already, and it's got to be information that I've had from these shows and not eBay. I can't get eBay information. Thank you so much. Thank you for your bid. Patrick, it's your turn.
Okay, this is going to be a $10 start.
Oh, $10.
We're going from the high end of Scott's parlor tables into the back barn. And what you're getting for a $10 start, you're getting all three of these burlap graphic sacks.
How fantastic.
So $10 and you get all three of them. So starting out, and they're very large size. So you're starting out, you got the California. Did you know that California also grew potatoes? So we've got a very large size potato bag. So on your potato sack race, you got a legitimate potato sack to be able to do it. It says it's got, for some reason, a swan on it, but it is the U.S. number 14 and a half minimum. I don't know all the terms for selling potatoes are, but great colors, great graphics. And again, you get all three of these. So that is one of them. They're all about the same size. The second one, and they're all different. So then we've also got Ebbs Snow White California potatoes. So we've got another potato sack. So you've got your contest right there. Two potato sack race. And then the third one, which is slightly smaller but still gigantic, is another potato sack, also from California, the King Pack potato.
Those are great.
So they're all in as good of condition as a potato sack can be. There's no tears. The tops are, unfinished because they would have been bound in whatever you bind potato bags with. But these are, I've seen these in high-end stores framed, because you put these, you get that industrial counterpoint to a really nice refined living room, and it actually adds a nice conversation piece. So I've got a total of three. You get all three of them, and I think I've got the opening bid from Lori is $10.
You got it.
And the backs, I've all three of them. The backs are plain, but you've got the different colors. So blue and red. You've got, what was this one? Also blue and red. And then the other one was the green. Had the green and the red. So I will go ahead and start the countdown on these. And so these are 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll stop it and see if Lori's getting the deal of the night. If she's getting all of these for $10.
The colors on those, Patrick, beautiful.
Absolutely. They're in great condition, considering they probably were sitting in a barn for a couple of decades. All right.
Stop is in, and I believe it might be Lori Perry at 10.
Thanks, Lori.
I wonder how many of you have this memory. Every time I see a burlap bag, I think of the boardwalk at the Jersey Shore. And there was this huge slide. We would climb a staircase, and when we got to the top, they would put you on a burlap bag, and you would go down this huge slide. I mean, it lasted all of like 10 seconds. Patrick is shaking his head.
I've not been on that slide, but yes, until you said that, though, I had not had that memory in my head since a kid. But yes, I think you actually put your feet into the bag too. So you go down to another slide on a burlap sack. You're right. Fun.
I remember that as well. How many of you remember that? This is what's fun about doing this, is that we remind each other of things that we have forgotten. Donna says, yes, Donna's my Jersey girl. Okay, Donna.
And Wordsmith says Wildwood. Is that New Jersey? Wildwood, New Jersey?
New Jersey. Yep, that's the Jersey Shore, Wildwood as well. Okay. If you'll put $24 on the screen for me.
You bet.
I've got something I'm delighted to bring you, and I have to very carefully squeeze them together because they'll fall apart. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Now, let me explain what you're seeing here. Please don't fall apart. You are getting...
Oh, wow. I know what those are.
You're getting 10 antique organ pipes. Let me tell you about these pipes. Now, the reason why I'm squeezing them is they're all loose. You could connect them together like this. It is not an exact chromatic scale. It's close. I mean, it looks like a pan flute. You're missing a sharp or a flat here or there. Let me tell you how I got these organ pipes. But I want you to imagine hooking them together from the back, perhaps, if you chose to. Hang these on the wall for an organist friend, for a music teacher, for a music lover, for somebody who's got it all. Oh, come on. I know they're over 100 years old because I removed them from a church. Oh, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I sold a lot of the pipes. I gave some away. I gave some to a church. And I still have some pipes left. These are what are called stopped wooden flute pipes. And they're every bit of 100 years old. And you can blow through them, and I'll blow through one in a minute here. Actually, if I can turn it without, I can't turn it without dropping them. Hold on, maybe I can. It was a labor of love. This particular organ was going to be thrown into a dumpster. And I took an entire week and removed this organ myself just so that it would not wind up in a dumpster. Let's listen to the notes. Are you ready? Again, they're not chromatic. There we go. Now,
you're an opening bid of 25.
Let me set them down so that you can see. They are wooden organ pipes, and it's called a flute pipe. This one is, I do not have perfect pitch. This is an A. That's the toe, which would sit down into the reservoir, the wind chest. And then, of course, so there's one. That's the tiniest.
The poodle pushed it to 35.
That's the biggest one. There's the littlest one. Okay. Yes, I put my lead on lips. I put my lips on lead. I'll live.
Okay. You just increased the value.
Yes, because I have
got DNA.
I will wipe the end of these pipes before I ship them to you. But they're just wonderful. You know, as I said, hook them all together, put them on a wall, you know, or I don't know, hand them out one at a time to all your musician friends. They came out of an old church in Northern Liberties, Fishtown, Philadelphia. And I cannot remember which denomination it was. I hope that doesn't matter to anybody. But everything was going to be trashed. And that was a hot, messy job, but I saved as many as I could. So we're going to go ahead and count them down. There are 10 of them. You will receive all 10 of these wonderful antique, at least 100-year-old organ pipes. 10, 9, 8, delicious. Old church dirt. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Oh, wait, I didn't give you my 3, 2, 1. Let's see if we can get a good dissonance. Oh, that's called a dissonance right there. You see, I know these things. I was a music major as an undergrad. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's put these on the floor. I can't wait for those to go to a new home.
All right, so I pushed into the stop, and Poodle and Back in the Day Finds battled it out toward the end, and it looks like Back in the Day made it just before the stop at 46. And Lisa is worried about your health, that you're putting the lead in your mouth.
I have to tell you this. I have reached age 56, and I was born in an era where if it fell on the floor, your mother said, pick it up, blow on it, and eat it. And we didn't run around hand sanitizing ourselves every 5 minutes. I appreciate your concern. I'm probably going to live so long that when I die, they're going to have to take my heart out and kill it with a club. That's what I plan on doing. So let's turn it back. Wait a minute. There's that old Norton antivirus. Thank you. Back in the day, you got it at 46. Poodle, I'll try to dig up some more for you if you want some. So Carmen said, amen. You know. Okay.
All right. These are a $5 start.
Okay.
And again, you're getting an entire lot of these. So we've got Scott probably doing one of the oldest items for the evening. I'm probably doing one of the youngest items for the evening. And who are the crafters in the house? These are over 100 new old stock wine labels. So these are all from the 90s. And a couple of them do dip just into the 2000s. And some of the graphics on these are fantastic. You've got, some of them are just the individual labels that you would need to use an adhesive. Some of them are, let's put them right side up. Check out the lovely dining frogs or drinking frogs. Some of them actually have adhesive on them. So this was a 2000. It's basically a sticker. So these literally are the wine bottle labels. And I picked these up, a batch of these. I was selling them at my booth. I sold them in some other sales for much smaller. I think I was putting like 10 or 20 labels together, selling them for $5 as a flat price. This one, I just decided, you know what? These are all the ones that I've got left. There are going to be some duplicates in here. But in general, you've got just some fantastic graphics. If you've got craft projects, if you bottle your own wine or bottle your own beverages in any way, these would all be perfect to go on your individual bottles. Some beautiful imagery. $5 for the entire stack. And I did count them really quick, and I stopped counting at 100. So there's probably about 110, maybe 115 in here. Some great colors. Thanks, Tammy. And I won't spend a lot of time on these because they're just kind of a fun thing, a little bit different, that you could frame them. If you've got a bar, she shed, man cave, shoving these into a frame, or if you've got one of those display tables with a glass top, you just scatter all of these underneath there, and you've just got some fantastic graphics.
Good idea.
To show, that, hey, I love my wine, and check out all the different types of wine that I drink. And just some of the pretty colors that are in here. I'm just literally just grabbing them random. Cool tiger, I think. So going to do, looks like I've got the opening bid from Tammy. I'll go ahead and do the countdown.
Okay.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and nothing. Close it off. Oh, looks like somebody was sneaking in there. Took my cheaters off, so now I can't read.
Yeah, I think you do have I think it might be, let's hit refresh. I don't know if Tammy came in before or after. Let's both hit refresh and see where Tammy falls. Well, on my screen, Tammy falls just before the stop.
That's what I'm seeing as well.
Well, then it is Tammy.
Thanks, Tammy.
It's Tammy.
Great deal. $10 for that entire stash.
In love. Does anybody sing that song to you? I hear the mockingbird something above. Tammy, Tammy. Okay.
Scott's crooning again.
I have a what time is it? I have a 1961 Singer sewing machine home decorations book. Okay, mid-century folk. Oh my word.
Make yourself whole.
$10. That's it. $10 for the book. 1961. It's clean. It doesn't have silverfish. It doesn't smell too bad. And let me tell you, you're going to want to know how many pages. It's got 120, about 127 pages, and I'll hold it up. Oh, you were
Tammy was named after that song, Scott.
I just saw that.
That's awesome.
Wasn't that Debbie Reynolds? Tammy. I don't know. So, oh my gosh, we're going to go way back to 1961. Are you ready for the 1961 interiors? Let me get it. So this sewing book, you're going to learn how to decorate your house like they did it a few years before I was born. And it's the Singer Sewing Machine Home Decorating Book. So slip covers and curtains. Look at that. Okay, get your swag on with your curtains. Somebody asked me when I was going to sell this, and I told the person that it would be during this particular sale. I hope that person is here. I don't know if you are or not, but I told you that it would be for sale during the Unbreakables live sale. So it's the 1961 Singer Sewing Machine Home Decorators book. And we're going to wait just a moment longer and see if we have any home decorators out there. We do. Jan Loftness started us off at 10. And
what's fun about these is you finally have the first person or first level research when someone argues, no, that's not what they did in the 60s. You whip it out and say, first of all, we lived it. And second of all, here's the written proof. This is what people did in the 60s.
I cannot echo that enough, because I have people tell me, Scott, you put your curtains up wrong. And then I whip out a 1926 Good Housekeeping magazine and they
Yep.
So it is firsthand information on how it was done. Jan has the opening bit of 10, because a lot of times we just remember the way our mother did it or the way we grew up, and we don't realize that in different eras, hey, you know, people did things differently, and it's easy to forget. All right, we'll count it down. We have an opening bid of 10, and we won't drag it out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Singer Sewing Machine book. It might be on its way to Jan. And
I just saw the close, so I hit the stop into the chat. And yes, it looks like Jan is your winner.
Excellent.
Congratulations, Jan.
Jan, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Patrick, it is your turn.
All right. I've got a $15 start, 15. And we're back to more Unbreakables outside of paper. We've got a stack of brass. So you will get all 4 of these bowls. And if you watch one of my videos, you actually know where I pick when I pick these bowls up. These came with a tray, which I'm currently using as a holder for my antique mother of pearl gaming counters. These did not match it, but they claimed it was a set. And they don't even 100% match each other, but I don't have I don't want to break them up. And I also didn't have the heart to polish them. So somebody gave me a great tip with ketchup and salt, I think it was. I can't remember now. And I was super ready to shine all these. And I'm like, I kind of like them like this. Now, Trojan for You is asking if they're bootables. I do not know what a bootable is. So I cannot claim yes or no what these are. So you got the lotus flower. You've got some animals on the outside. What's different is on the inside, this one has a lotus flower in the middle, right? Well, actually, I don't even know if that's a lotus flower, but it's definitely a flower. Could be a chrysanthemum. But then this one has, it's harder to see. This one has a different flower. You can see it's got a slightly different, but the edge does still have animals, but it has a slightly different set of animals on the outside. This one has Chinese lettering on the inside and also has animals on the outside. But again, this one has that same lotus pattern, that one flower and the animals. So this one kind of matches the first one, but the inside's different. And then this one also has lettering on it, but different lettering. So maybe they're designed to go together, but they're not matched. You know, it's not it's quote unquote not a matchy set,
Yeah.
but they are all identical in size. They do stack. They are actually pretty heavy. They're, you know, pretty nice. So there's definitely some age to them. Yeah, the patina kind of gives it a giveaway, but they've got some nice weight to them. Could not tell you when they were made, who made them, what region of Southeast Asia they were made in. I said Chinese writing. That's an assumption. If anyone happens to read it, you might know what it says. I do not, but I don't think it's Japanese. I don't think it's Korean. Korean tends to be a little boxier. So I do think they're Chinese. And they're just a nice set of bowls. And I just didn't have any purpose. I didn't have any need for them. I wanted the tray. That's what I bought. These came with it. So you know what? I'll sell them in the Unbreakable sale. And thank you, Lori and Robert, for the opening bid back in the day finds. And they're kind of cool. So you could, I think, at least I could correct me. I think you can eat out of brass bowls. I don't know if you would want to. Maybe you would want to polish those up before you started eating out of these. But I think just a set of bowls, throw your keys in there. You're really not going to damage them. They're pretty hardy stuff. And I will count it down. So and you get the entire stack. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop.
Okay, then. And there is the stop. Okay, I think it might be back in the day finds.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much.
We are going to rock and roll, and if it is okay with you, kind sir, we won't necessarily take an intermission. Let's just keep the party going.
I'm good.
We are currently saying hello to 271 folks who have joined us tonight, and we're so glad that you did. Thank you, everyone who's here tonight. Appreciate you joining us. What I've got for you now is big and beautiful. My goodness. Okay, let's talk about her for a minute, but she's going to start off at $20. When you look this beautiful girl up online, you'll see her referred to as a tea cozy. Patrick and I both agree. We know she's Russian and probably made for a samovar, which is larger than a teapot. So way bigger than like a little English teapot. But you'll see these as Russian tea cozies or samovar cozies. You could also, if you wanted to, use her as a pajama what is it called? Sachet, you know, where you stuff your pajamas up in there and then put her on your bed. Let's take a look at her. She is old. She probably dates to the 1930s, maybe the 40s. She's in really good condition. A little, there's a few little problems here and there, but let's first of all take a look. She has a painted face, which is a fabric face, and it is painted. She's got both of her original earrings. Can you see?
So Tizzy is asking for face material. You said it's fabric. Is it stuffed or is there something solid underneath it?
There's something solid underneath of her face, but she's covered in some type of a mesh and then she's painted. So,
and she opens the bid with $20.
It's, I'm not, and if we turn, I'm going to go ahead and let you see her completely. She's got both of her earrings. Right? And I know, there are times when certain countries have nefarious eras. Let's just put that out there. But remember, the German culture is rich and old and shouldn't be judged by a particular point in time, my opinion. And I feel the same way about Russian culture. I just kind of wanted to throw that out there, but take a look at the back of her head. She's missing a little bit of hair.
Becky brings you up to 25.
She does have her, is that a pigtail or a ponytail?
That'd be a pigtail.
She's got a wonderful necklace, and it's actually threaded through her hands. So
oh, neat. I didn't realize that. That's
yeah,
cool.
so her hands are clasped there. You know, and I simply say that as well.
It makes it more character driven. It's sweet.
We'll pull her back, and you can see that we're going to lift her dress up here, and she's padded on the underside, and she's quite generous in size. That will definitely go over a samovar. But she's dressed all the way around. Okay.
Tizzy brings her up to 30.
She's dressed all the way around.
Her headdress is a kokoshnik.
Yes.
That's what it's called.
Oh, I didn't know that. So
yeah, that headpiece. That's how I knew she was. That's why I thought she was Russian. That little headpiece is called a kokoshnik.
She's even got one little jewel right at the
oh, nice. I didn't see that.
Right at the very top. Right at the very top is a jewel. And so, yeah, she's, well, oh gosh, she's 15 inches tall or so. She's got some beads down her front. And you can see a little bit of wear on her hands. This old gal has been around.
And the hands are fabric as well, it looks like.
I beg your pardon?
Are the hands fabric as well, it looks like?
Yeah, it's a fabric type of a covered hand. So when she's got the ribbon on the back of her head, and most of her hair is there.
At least is correct. It could be Ukrainian. It could be any of the that territory.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That region.
So we're talking about something from that region, and I believe she goes back to the 1930s or 40s. She's probably pre-World War. She's got to be pre-World War II. I can just tell by, well,
she's clutching her pearls.
Age has a way of sitting on something, right? So, and I'm not an expert on these, but some of you may be able to, know exactly when these were made. But my guess would be that she was made in the 30s or the 40s. Patrick?
I would agree with that. I mean, because the headdress is very traditional. Again, I'm using the colloquial term of Russian. Right. I mean, that's getting into, I think, even 17th and 18th century, like where the folk. So it's hard to know specifically with the headdress. But Becky brings you up to 35. It looks like the pearls down her front are the same as in the pearl that's in her hat, which it makes it nice that it's probably all original.
Yeah.
The color all matches. So it looks like she's never been changed.
There's some glass beads here on her ears.
And I think her face, I didn't realize her face had been fabric, but the face is just painted in a very sweet way.
Yeah. So let's find her a new home, and we'll count her down. We'll put her right there on right there, whatever that is. 10, my shoulder. 10, the crook of my elbow. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. And she will head in your direction. And she really is. When I saw her, oh my gosh, I paid a lot for her, but.
All right. I just saw the stop and had a couple of people jump in right at the end. A lot of people jumping in right at the end. So let me refresh really quick.
I wanted to make sure she lived in someone's collection. Oh no, she's not celluloid. She's all. It's a type of there's like a linen or a fabric or something over her face. Yeah, and then it's painted.
All right, Melody snuck in. Melody Southern Buckeye is before the stop at 43. And when I refreshed, I got Tizzy and Becky both came in at 45, but after the stop.
So it was Melody?
Yeah, so if you want to refresh really quick, but yeah, the way I look at it, Melody is the only one that got in before.
Okay, I will. I'll bring you on, Patrick and Melody. I want to say thank you. And also, thank you, everyone who placed bids. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's a very cool, very unique piece. That's lovely.
You'll love her. And age has settled very softly on her. You'll see when you get her. You'll see. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Melody Southern.
All right. This next item is not offer up. It's actually quick to claim, first to claim, but I have 3. So if anyone is interested, I have more than one that's available. And I will just say the price is $10. If you follow my channel, you probably know what this is. It is a punch card. So I do punch boards.
Oh, yeah.
I have a collection of them myself. This is the simpler version of it. It's just a piece of cardboard that has been punched that you push out the individual number. And you can, when you push that out, there's a number wedged in between or in the little medallion that kicks out. And you can see they're going to be numbered. And if you, there's no losers. So everybody gets one piece. Most likely this was for gum. You would pay 1 cent to use this card. And if you got a 5, you got 20 pieces of gum. If you got a 10 or a 15, you got 10 pieces of gum. So it was like a gambling. It's also a trade stimulator were terms that were used for these. But it was basically a very preliminary form of gambling. So they're $10. And I have 3 of them. So the first 3 people, if you're interested, you could get these for $10. Just put your name in the chat and you can see the way they're given. So you can turn these into games, kids games, these are all unused, but you can use them however you choose, because basically you just have numbers in all of these little cards. And I've sold tons of these. I currently, this is listed online, I think for $20. I have it in my eBay store. I just have a bunch of extras. So I figured, you know what? I will bring them onto Scott's sales, make it simple, $10 each. And I don't see any takers. So I will just stop here and pass it back to Scott.
Okay, let's see here. I have to do that. And then I have to do that. Okay, we're going to start off now. Christmas. Oh, boy. $12. You get all 4. That means $3 each. So we'll see if we have any interest.
Do you say is this start at $12?
Yeah, we're going to start at $12. These are these funny little frizzy-headed, somewhat scary looking, I think, Christmas angels. I mean, take a look. Ah!
Okay, I now have my night terror set up for the evening. Thank you.
So I don't know, but you know what? Somebody said that these were made in kits. Okay. Well, one of them has a delightful smile. The other 3, boy, they sure can rat that hair. Let's see. Let's show you the one that looks pleasant. She's dressed in red. Now, she needs a little work on her hairdo, but now, come on now. She's got a little smile. Yeah. Okay, so she looks as though she is, well, that's one. The other 3, the 3 stepsisters, they ain't so. That one had to stay at home. She had to clean out the fireplace. Okay. Here I am, like making fun of my own products. This one is really mad. Heartbreakingly adorable. The poor things. Look at their hair. Bless their hearts. And, well, but they have they have little shoes on, little high button shoes. Come on now. Little sparkly things that got sewn on there. Little wings. Woo! So you're going to get 2 in blue. You get 1 in green, and you get Dolly Parton hair.
Dolly Parton hair.
You get one in green and red. It looks like your sister. And you get, anyway, it's the Lennon sisters, I guess. I don't know. Poor things. Nobody wants them. Okay, we'll bring them back next Christmas. What did I tell you? What was the opening bid? $12? No good. All right, Patrick, it's your turn. See, we don't pussyfoot around here. If there's no interest, we move up. KP wants them.
Oh, sneaking in there.
What you gonna come? You're gonna give them a rinse and set? What you gonna do with that hair, KP?
Then now both KP and Karen both want them at 12. So I will see who's really serious about wanting them if they end up crawling up the bids. So I do see KP as first.
This is the kind of thing that if my old cat was still alive, this would wind up in my bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. And there would be a big
Look, Daddy,
fight.
look what I killed.
Look what I killed. Exactly. Aren't you proud of me? I sure am. Now get that out of my mouth. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I didn't twist your arm. Look at me.
All right, I see the stop, and Karen's the one that really wanted them because she crawled it back up to 13.
Karen, I'm going to tell you what, girl. I'm going to have to add some specials. I'm going to have to put some specials in your box. Was that a sympathy purchase? Karen,
I think the first one was, but they both came back. KP was a little bit after the stop, so Karen got it for 13.
All right, Karen.
And no, Wordsmith, I do not have hat pins tonight. Instead, what I have, since Scott showed you his Night Terror creation, I'll show you mine.
Okay.
So this is a $10 start. And what we've got is, we're going to call it folk art.
Ooh.
We're going to call it art.
$13?
$10 start. And it has been manufactured with the holder on here that appears to have been welded into place. So I'm not sure the age on this. This may not necessarily be all that old, but I saw this and could not pass it up. But then I don't know why. So it's been shoved in a bag, hidden away, because I don't need to see this every day of my life. But you can have it for yourself. It is just a lovely wall mask. You could put it in a box and jump scare anybody you want to do a birthday gift to. $10 as a start. It is a combination of metals. And it is, for what it is, it seems to be very well made. There are marbles in for the eyes. And it will hang flat on the wall. Now, I don't think you can I can see through it, but there is no opening at the mouth. So it's not a functional mask. Yeah, Mardi Gras would definitely be, I should have offered it earlier because there's a hole. And you could paint it. You could put, hang the Mardi Gras beads off of it. Kind of got the feathered headdress. And again, there was some thought put into it, because you can see even how they crease the metal to create the feathers in the headdress. You got the brass accents, copper accents, the tin base plate. Again, no pussyfooting around. I don't think. And Jenny said exactly. It's a pink elephant gift. It's a conversation starter, stopper, depending on your friends. It's just a fun little item that I just thought would be a perfect item for the Unbreakable sale, because you're not going to break them. But I don't see any bidders on it, so I will go ahead and stop and pass it back to Scott.
Okay, solo. Oh my goodness, what did I just do? Okay, there we go. Whoop, no. Okay, solo layout. There we go. Okay. Very good. I've got some more old Christmas. $5, you get both of them. They are identical. $5, you get both of them. There's no mark on them. They're made out of felt, and they've got wire in them, so they're bendy. This looks like some type of 1960s thing. They're not that Anna Lee stuff. Now, when I did my video, I said, these types of painted faces remind me of something else. I knew they weren't Anna Lee, and it was funny because everybody said, oh, they're not Anna Lee. And I said, well, I didn't say they were. And I, quite frankly, don't care for the Anna Lee. These are more pleasant, the faces, I think.
Heather Elizabeth from Antique Agenda has you at 6.
So they have pretty nice little painted faces. They're, what is this? Is this felt? And they're bendy. Now, this reminds me of the type of thing that would have that tiny little square made in Japan, sticker on it. I don't know if they're made in Japan or if they're American made, but they both match. They're both cute. They're small, and there they are. Christmas in April. Why not? All right, count them down. 10. I think there's a bid.
Yes, you've got 2 bids, actually. Heather Elizabeth at Antique Agenda puts you up to 6.
Okay, 10, 9, 8. You get both of them. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Okie doke. They're cute.
And we got the stop. I'm gonna have to do a refresh because a couple of people tried to sneak in there at the end.
Yeah, the Anna Lee things are a little. It's an acquired taste, I guess. I'm not knocking it. It's just not my taste, which is, you don't like rum raisin. I don't like pistachio.
Okay, I refreshed twice because I wanted to verify.
Okay.
And it looks like Beiderbecke 1927 and Jenny Mac both came in at 8 before the stop, but I've got Beiderbecke 1927 that's the first one. So you're $8 from Beiderbecke 1927.
All right, Bix.
You've got a whole family of snipers going onto your channel here, Scott. Everyone's sneaking in right at the end.
Well, look, and I'll say, Bix, thank you. We got you at $8, and we do. I realize that that I tend to be zippity doo dah with this, but so if you see, remember, everyone knows there's a lag, and if you see something you like, don't be afraid to put that bid in there. So, Bix, thank you so much. We got you at 8, and Patrick, it's your turn. Go.
Yep. All right. So every show I've done with Scott, and actually one of the ideas behind the Unbreakable sale, I've offered gigantic tablecloths. And this is no different. This is a $25 start. And this is an embroidered tablecloth. It is 64 inches by 98 inches.
Wow.
So we've got a very good size to this. And some
sorry.
beautiful...
What's the start? I apologize.
$25 start, and it is 64 by 98.
64 by 98. I'll put that in.
So all 4 corners are embroidered.
Okay.
Do it not upside down. So you can see some of the detail put into it. It's a very stylized. I don't even know what kind of flower that's supposed to be, but it's very wispy. And a lot of colors. And it goes right off the corner. You've got a scalloped edge on the end, so you can see the edges. But you've got this lovely detail work where you've got kind of a coral color that kind of even goes into a darker coral with the lighter green, then the darker green, then pinks and rose colors, even some yellows and chartreuses and some browns. So that motif is on all 4 corners, all with the same design. You also have, and I've never seen this before because this is somewhat sizable. It's actually done as 3 panels of fabric, and it's kind of a cotton fabric, almost like what you think of a like bed sheet type fabric. So I don't know how old this necessarily is.
Yeah.
But if you look, there is some decorative stitching, and there's 3 separate panels that take this all together. So the stitching goes into the corners. The horizontal stitching is just decorative. It's just going across the fabric. It's not connecting anything together. But the ones that run the length, these are actually holding strips of fabric together. And when you open it up, you got to stand up. And yes, this is a kind of a behemoth. You do need a tablecloth or a table of some substance with this. But if you have it, it is going to showcase this beautifully, because look at all of the detail that's in this going into the center. So again, the corners are way down here. And then as you work your way into the middle, there's more decorative work in the corners here that then all connects. And then you've got the decorative stitching in between to give it the gigantic rectangle. What's really nice about this design is the center itself is open. So you can actually put a centerpiece on your table without blocking or covering up any of the stitching. So again, it's that beautiful, wispy, some really bright spring and summer colors. It's a very lightweight. I apologize, I did not have time to iron it. But it still showcases just, I don't know. is it an iris? I'm not sure what that flower is supposed to be. But I just love the different colors. And it's absolutely beautiful embroidery. Looking at the back, I do believe it is machine done. It's far too clean to have had this done by a home designer. But I don't think that detracts from it. It has an oval motif going around the edge. You can see kind of like the little like petals, the triplet of petals that actually kind of creates a curve. But the tablecloth itself is rectangular. It's not oblong. So you can see the corner here. It has a straight corner. It's not an oblong. But again, just some beautiful stitch work. So it's only $25. I don't think I saw a bid come through for it. And so I guess I will go ahead and pass on it and pass it back to Scott. Oh, yeah, this would be pretty with watermelon glass on it. That's a good idea.
We can always bring that back at the end. It is about 20 minutes after 9, and we've got about 280 folks with us tonight. So once again, I want to thank everybody for joining me here, for joining me and Patrick on the Unbreakables sale. I'll go ahead and throw myself up as a solo, and we're going to start out next looking for an opening bid of $12.
Okay.
Do you like to decorate the old-fashioned way? Well, in the 1920s, well, I guess for decades, honeycomb decorations were always a big deal. We don't see much of them today, but good grief, they were a big deal from Victorian days. I even remember them in the 1970s and early 80s. You found honeycomb decorations. I've got a bunch of them to show you. You're going to get this whole stack of them, and there are 10 of them. And it's only $12. You get all 10 of these. They were originally sold for probably 15 cents each. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are reddish maroon. 1, 2, 3 of them are green. I'm sorry, yellow. Bear with me. One is green, and then another one is red. That says "Made in the USA" embossed on it, and that's a different shape. Anyway, let's see what they look like. Okay, this is going to take you back to your old high school prom. Yes, I can pull them out, and there they are. These are old. There's the old string. Can you see these hanging?
Reliving the sock hop. I can picture that
yes.
at a birthday party.
Hanging in the fellowship hall at the United Methodist Church. There's one. The honeycombs are great. And they've got the little metal tabs that you're supposed to fold over to make.
That's nice that those are still there. Those usually snap off.
They're there. They're there. There's one in red. They're all in this same good condition. And you know they're old because they say they're embossed right there, made in USA. You know, is anything like this made in the USA anymore? So there's one. Now, again, yep, they're not Halloween colors. You're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 5 of them in this reddish color, and they're all in this really same great condition. Let's open up another red one. I keep saying reddish color, but you know what I mean.
Adam starts you off at 12.
Classic.
What's really nice, too, you can make them tablescapes and just do them open, half open. Put a weight on either side, and so that way you actually have a centerpiece with those as your centerpiece.
I never ever thought of that, Patrick.
There you go.
I just learned something brand new.
More usable that way.
And let's look at one in yellow. There's one in yellow. You're going to get 3 of them in yellow.
And Lori said she had wedding bells made with those in 1978.
Here's one in green, sort of green.
Ooh, that's a pretty color.
It's faded a little bit.
But that kind of gives it a neat look.
This makes me think of the little table favors when I was a boy at the covered dish dinners. There would be like this little sort of fishnet type linen with a ribbon, and inside would be salted peanuts and those little tiny after dinner mints. They were called table favors. Does anybody do that anymore? And these would be hanging overhead. Isn't it funny, the little things you remember? Why on earth would I remember that? This one is kind of shaped like an egg. That's the oddball. This doesn't look like any of the others, but it's in great condition, and you get this one as well. So there are 10 of these honeycombs for you to enjoy. Look at that. Made in the USA. They're old. Yes, those little buttermint things.
I don't remember buttermints. I remember Jordan almonds. Randy reminds Jordan almonds, but I don't know if I know what a buttermint is.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
But I do remember the tool wrap, those little nut cups, those little paper.
But there were different sizes. The buttermints were larger and they were yellowish, but there were little tiny mints called after dinner mints, and they were pastels, and you would mix them with salted peanuts. Boy, I thought I was misbehaving as a 10-year-old, eating salted peanuts and buttermints. Misbehaving. 10, I think we have a bid somewhere. 10,
you do.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You don't have to have a party. Hang them up in the ceiling, from the ceiling of your bedroom, and have your own party.
I see this stop, and KP is also calling them pillow mints. I do recognize pillow mints. So if those are the same thing as buttermints, the Midwest, we just call them something different. You'd think we'd call them butter. That's that's what we're known for.
That I don't remember. I don't know pillow, but I remember after dinner mints. And when we would have at holidays, a little dish would come out, and those little after dinner mints would be in there, and you could have 5 and remember the ones that had licorice on the inside? Ooh.
So you got Adam Rifkin for $12.
Oh, Adam, you got a deal, buddy roll. Where is it? It's Adam Rifkin for 12?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, let's take it back. Adam, thank you. Thanks to everyone who placed bids. I appreciate it. Let me write this down before I forget. Adam Rifkin at 12. Okay.
All right. I had pulled this when Scott showed the Russian samovar, the doll, whatever you want to call it. I'm like, oh, wait, I've got something Russian too. I'm going to show it. And I set it on the table in front of me and then forgot it. So I'm going to show it now. So this is the only piece of jewelry that I have here. This is a starting bid of $20. And this is a Russian lacquer brooch. Right. So you can see, as the Soviet era pins were often done, they reutilized a safety pin to create their jewelry. But my minor in college was Russian area studies. And in 1989, I went to the Soviet Union. And as part of our trip, they taught us about lacquer boxes. And I'm just trying to show you what's down there in the corner. If you don't speak Cyrillic, you don't know what that says, but that word is P-A-L-E-K, which is Palek. And that is the top producer of Russian lacquer boxes in what was the Soviet Union and continues to be in Russia. So Palek is the name to look for. So if you ever see Russian boxes,
okay,
look for something. And the P looks like the letter pi. It looks like an N here. And then the A is an A, the L is an L, the E is an E, and the X, the K is an X. So you can actually usually read it. That's the only ones I will buy. Palek is worth its money. All the rest are fine, but Palek is better detail. So you can see the trim work on this. like the detail that they did with the dot work. Now, this is a little bit on the later side. I'd say probably because of the pin, it probably is still Soviet era, but it's probably getting into the 90s of the Soviet era, because what had happened was Polyak and all of the other regions, the other word is the name of the piece, but the region is always printed on there, painted on there. What Polyak recognized that they were a desirable region, they started making the word bigger. The older ones, you can barely read it. You have to pull out a loop to be able to read the signatures. If you can read it with your naked eye, it's a little bit later. So that's your education in Russian lacquer. The more contemporary ones, that writing looks like it was done with a freaking Sharpie. So I stay away from the newest ones, but this is that borderline era. And they always, at least the Polyak ones, always do some level of history. I don't remember much of my Russian, so I don't know what this image actually is, but that name, Vesa ed Vzyad Nyak, I don't know what that says. But you can clearly see it's a warrior on a horse. So sometimes it's, St. George killing the dragon. There's the, oops, it goes flying down into my lap. The troika is a popular motif. It's all about the design and about the colors. You've got the beautiful black, the beautiful gold, and then this red and green. These are just beautiful pieces. And the problem is they get lost on eBay because there's so many contemporary versions of them. So I'm going to throw this out here. And I do have a CEO opening bid from Susan. So thank you so much, Susan, starting me at 20. And I'm going to go ahead and count it down. And it's the size wise, you can't tell in my hand. Obviously it's oval. And it's 2.5 inches in height and 1.5 inches across. So it's just it's a lovely oval shape. And again, watch for Polyak, and at least if nothing else, you can impress your friends and say, "Oh, that says Polyak." And we'll go and count down: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And stop. And I actually still have a Polyak lacquer box that I picked up from the black market. I traded a pair of jeans in my hotel room in Moscow. I was an idiot. I was 18 years old. But I got a cool box out of it, and I still own it. All right. Did we get it? Did Margaret sneak in there?
She might have. Let me refresh. She did indeed. Margaret, just before the stop at 21.
Congratulations, Margaret. I don't think you've bought from me, so just make sure you send me an email. But shipping obviously going to be lightweight. Just need to know where to ship it.
And she will. Margaret is delightful. She'll contact you and give you her information. Thank you. Thanks, everyone who placed bids on that.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for all that information. I was listening very intently, and I learned. So I appreciate. Every day is a good day when I learn something new. So I learned something new today. Now
that just warms my innards, because if I can teach something to Scott, that's like a rare event. So I'm touched that you actually learned something from me.
Be quiet. That's my Jersey boy saying, "Be quiet." Thank
Heather
you.
Elizabeth seems to be drifting into tongues. I don't know what that message is supposed to be.
Oh, is she speaking in tongues? Hey, it's curtains for you. Are you ready?
Oh.
It's curtains for you. I've got curtains for one window. Now, I wish I had curtains for 2 or 3 or 4, but it's one set of curtains. I'm going to give you the measurements, and I'll tell you right now, the condition is phenomenal. They go all the way back to the 30s. Look at that metallic sparkle. You're in the 30s and the 40s when you see something like that. Wow. These are old curtains. I'm going to hold them up. I'm going to give you the measurements. But let me tell you, I washed them. They're clean. They have no holes, no stains, no rips, no tears, no fading. They are not lined. They date from 1935 to 1945. And these are wonderful old curtains. $30
starting at
$30. Now remember, Well, $30. Let me give you the dimensions. They are 46. What you're supposed to do length. Okay, they're 46 inches. Each panel is 46 inches wide. So 46 times 2 is your width. Are you writing this down?
I am.
The length is 64 inches in length. 64 inches in length. Let's take a look at these curtains. Now, what I should say to you is this is material. Means you can do what you want with it. That means you could cut this material. People scream, "Oh, don't cut it, you'll ruin it." No, you could actually make curtains for 2 sets of windows if you have, small windows. What color? It's a purpley metallic color. These are not that, starchy, fiberglassy type curtains from the 60s. We all know what they are. That's not what this is. These are older than that. That's right, Deb. Make pillows out of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Remember, curtains is just fabric. You can do with it what you want. Now at the top, they're gathered there. And I don't know what you call that, but you folks will know the little pins that you stick in there. You know what that is. So it's
Pleat.
that kind. Huh?
Pleat.
Well, I know pleat, but isn't there another name for the thing that when you hang? I don't know. There might be a curtain name. I don't know.
That could be.
But you can do lots of things. Now I'm going to back up so that you can see how beautiful these curtains are. It is a purple sort of. You could even make, I guess, an evening gown out of it if you. Okay, KP, here's your peignoir, right? Here's your peignoir.
Lori called it a pinch pleat.
Pinched pleat. Okay.
Now, quick question. The 46 inches, is that across the top where it's gathered or across the bottom where it's full?
That's across the bottom where it's full. So good question. The 46 is from here to here at the bottom. At the top, where it's gathered, I didn't measure that. Because if you want to, you can undo that stitching. That's easy to do.
Yeah.
And then pull it out, and then that will be that wide. I don't need curtains for one window.
Adam would like to see the back.
The back.
Are they lined?
They are not lined.
Okay.
There's the back. This is the front. Yes, and there's the back. It's a type of a shimmery metallic fabric. This was big in the 30s and the 40s and even the 50s and the 60s, but it's not that 1960s fiberglass type curtain. These are older than that. I have 2 panels. 1, 2. So you can do one window or cut them up. They're long enough. What did I tell you? 64 inches long?
Yeah.
They're 64 inches long. So, you can do whatever you want with it. Liberate yourself from thinking that this has to be or has to remain curtain material. You can make lampshade covers out of it. It's just wonderful, old, luxurious fabric from the 1930s, and nobody wants it, which means we're going to move on. The opening bid was 30. We don't have one, and so we'll wait just a second. If there are no questions. Yeah, I saw that episode.
Yeah, that's a classic one.
Of course.
Oh, wait, you got somebody snuck in.
And I've already washed them. They don't smell. They're clean. There's no rips, no tears. These are ready.
Florida Golden Girl brings them up to 35.
And if you want to see what the edge, some of you want to see what the edge looks, what the sides look like. So that's the back and this is the front. So the sides have whatever that finished edge is called there on the sides. You know, I don't know those terms, but I know enough to call that a finished edge here. All right, enough is enough. Count them down. I will. You ready? 10, 9, 8, 7. These, my gosh, you could even make a 6, 5. How regal. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is some nice material. How do I look, Patrick?
I'm focusing on the countdown right now.
Well,
Okay.
I want you to focus on.
I gotta stop. Well, you're always gorgeous, Scott. You know.
Well, I'm begging. You know, I was fishing for a compliment.
You are a pretty girl.
I had to fish too hard for the compliment, so it doesn't
All
count.
right. I'm trying to make sure they didn't outbid themselves.
Oh,
no, we're good. Okay, so it looks like a Florida Golden girl gets them for $50.
Oh, Florida Golden, you are gonna love these, and I want to know what you're gonna do with them. Because there's so much, you're going to love these, Florida.
I love the idea of a smoking jacket. That would be a great fabric for a smoking jacket.
Thank you, everyone who placed bids on that set.
All right.
Florida.
I've not offered tin types in a while.
Oh, I want to see.
So I've got a pair of tin types, and we're going to start at $5, and you get the pair.
Oh, let me get the five.
You get them both.
Let me get
$5.
Hold on, let me get it in there.
And you've got 2 separate tin types of 2 little boys, and they do not appear to be the same boy. I did get them at the same time, but they do not appear. They're not the same boy, and I don't know if they're related. But you've got a studio shot, a little boy sitting on, as all children do, tree stumps, but in a controlled environment. I don't believe this is outdoors based on what the backdrop looks like. Little blonde haired boy. It has the clipped corners of the tin type, nothing on the back, no indication, no name, no additional information of where it came from. This one is a little bit smaller. Just kind of put them side by side. So you've got the other one is a little bit shorter. He is on a fringed chair. And just check out the curve of that back. He's sitting on it very, very, it's an oddly shaped chair because it looks like the back is very narrow. The support of the back is very narrow, but again, in a studio setting. So I don't know if these came from a family, you know, that maybe they were brothers. Do not know. Just great little additions to vignettes. You know, if you wanted to frame them, instant relatives, whatever you want. Photographs are always just something a little bit different, and I just think they're sweet. So I've sold them individually in my booth for between $5 and $10. Here we're doing a pair for $5 start, and I think I did see a bid. So Karen looks like has an opening bid of $5. Don't want to spend a lot of time on them because I have other items I can show, and so I'm going to go ahead and start counting them down. $5 for the pair. Again, you get both for the pair of tin types. 10. 9, 8, 7. He looks uncomfortable. I totally agree. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And that's for the tin types. And definitely not post-mortem. Nope, no question there. They did not haul the corpses to the studio. And Karen really wanted them, but you outbid yourself, Karen, so you're good.
Karen got them.
You get them for $5. Because I think she was the only bid, right? I didn't miss anybody.
I think so. Yeah.
I just realized last update I forgot to switch it back to all messages, so I'm checking again.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Karen.
Look at this Art Deco box from the 1930s. It's cardboard. There's nothing in it. And we're going to start off at $12. Oh, Love Nest. Chocolates. All the way around. Let's open it up. Nothing in it. The box top, great. One end has come loose. You can tape it or not.
Antique Agenda, $12.
If you tape it on the inside, that's up to you. Doesn't matter. Let's put it back on. Blue and silver. But look at, it's amazing to me that a whole new thought of modern design takes place in Europe. It culminates in France. We have this big exposition in 1925. And probably 10 years later in 1935, it's in America on a chocolate box. The idea of what would be Art Deco design, the font, just the whole styling was modern and new, and it screams 1930s. Love Nest chocolates. I love the box, and it was made by the Euclid Candy Company of New York Incorporated. And I believe it might say Brooklyn under there. Hold it still, Scott. You move too fast. The Euclid Candy Company. It says Euclid, not Eunuch. 1/4 pound for 5 cents. Love Nest. So some sweetie got this. Somebody bought this for their sweetie in the Depression era. Yeah, not Eunice either. And it's just a plain graphic all the way around. And it's just a nice survivor of an old cardboard box. This is probably circa 1935. And if you think about it, we're talking about a box that's probably 90 years old. So if you like the era and the design, it's yours. We'll count it down. Here we go. 10. I think we have a bid. 10, 9.
Yes, you do.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. This is the real definition of ephemera. Because when this box was made, probably the manufacturers never thought it would still be floating around 90 years later. I love it. It's not a reproduction. It's a real thing. Who gets it?
Yeah, Heather Elizabeth from Antique Agenda gets it for $12.
What a find. What a find. Did I put that on here? Box. Okay, 12. And it's Antique Agenda. Do I already have you down for something else tonight?
I don't think she bid something else, but I don't think she got it the last time.
But is she called Heather Elizabeth?
Her name is Heather Elizabeth, but on YouTube it's Antique Agenda.
Okay, I'm going to write down Antique Agenda because if I have to, for whatever reason, if I have to go back and look at the quote unquote transcript.
Antique Agenda is the transcript.
Okay, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Antique Agenda. I appreciate that. If I don't have your info, just send it to me. And that, okay, Antique Agenda, thank you so much. Make sure, so your full name, mailing address, all of that stuff, and then I'll get to you in the morning, Antique Agenda. Thank you, everyone. Patrick, your turn.
We all, Heather Elizabeth, you and I all did an ephemera sale last year. So that's it. That's Antique Agenda. Okay, so while Scott was talking about the history of Art Deco and the Paris Exposition of 1925, those of you who might have been very carefully listening, because I forgot to mute myself, I went tearing out of my writing room.
I heard you.
To get this. And I will now offer this at Exposition Internationale Arts Décoratifs et Industriels Paris 1925. It is a something. So I've yet to figure out what it is. It was something... bon a lot means good to go. You bought this certificate for 2 francs. You can see there 52 francs, 2 franc 50 per ticket. And what it gave you were discounts on certain items. So you got discounts to the theater, so discount to the cinema, discount for music halls.
What price, Patrick?
I'm sorry, this is a $10 start.
Okay.
And so the entire thing is in French, which I did not learn. It would look, it will come to you folded. I think it would look fantastic just with that framed. But if you got a bigger frame,
Yeah,
you could do the entire thing. And the fact is, it is actually basically the tickets and support for that Paris exposition in 1925. And what's fascinating about it is there's nothing deco about this at all.
right.
Because it was probably printed in 1924 when they started preparing to sell these. And so it's its own, it's kind of like a stock certificate. You can see there's a watermark in there behind the text. It's in fantastic condition. It was folded, but it probably was folded originally, because at some point you had to carry these things. So you're saying it says it's for 50 francs. So I'm not sure. I just saw the 2 franc 50. So maybe the 2 is something else.
So wait a minute, Patrick. Because I'm over here like in shock. That is an actual entrance ticket to the 1925.
It's not the entrance ticket to the exposition. It was something that you could get alongside of it.
Okay.
That then gave you discounts to other things associated with the exposition.
Okay, now look, I have to just jump right in. Folks, people, good folk, if you're an Art Deco person, I'm sitting here with my mouth open. This is where this is the beginning.
Yes.
Patrick,
so these have literally been sitting in my office, but I don't know what to do with them because I don't speak French and I haven't tried to translate all of this stuff. It's got all the legal stuff on the back.
Adam knows what you're selling. He jumped in there.
So you've got the one lot, 50 francs. It's just a cool conversation piece that, since we were talking about Paris 1925, Arts Décoratifs et Industriels, that was the formal name of the exposition. And they had more than one. That's what they have expositions, I think, every year. But this was the famous one that introduced Art Deco. And if you look really closely, there's the crisscross pattern that did become Art Deco. But the border is still very much not even nouveau. I mean, it's very much a traditional floral pattern. So it's just a fun piece. And it could be worth millions. It could be worth a penny. I have no idea. It's just one of those, I had not intended to sell this. I knew I had it. And so I'm like, you know what? I like piggybacking off of what Scott talks about, what Scott's selling. So I went tearing upstairs and I found it. And that's what this is. So is the number of the ticket.
I mean, I'm not seeing it in person. I'm like flipping out because I know Patrick knows the history that, Germany was not invited. Everybody was furious at Germany for the First World War, so they can't come. So forget the Bauhaus. The Americans were invited, but old Herbert Hoover, now he wasn't president yet, but he was the Secretary of Commerce. And as the story comes down through history, Herbert Hoover said, we don't have any modern design in America. So the Americans didn't exhibit, but the industrial designers went to that exhibition. They went to that exhibition and brought back the ideas which gave birth to the Art Deco and then the Art Modern movement here in America. So it's fascinating that you have that.
Yeah. And you can see it's actually, this one is dated 1923. So this was done, a couple of years in preparation for it. Yeah. So, but it's for the,
as you'd expect,
25. Yeah, exactly. I mean, all this stuff has to be that, but that again is why it doesn't have all of the additional deco design to it. We've got the crisscross. I can't quite tell what is in the background of those crisscrosses?
Are they water? Is it watermark?
Yeah, they're kind of watermarks, and I can't tell if there's anything. If there's another flower in the middle of those.
Hmm.
I literally can't tell. I hadn't even noticed until I put it up to the light. The way I was holding it, you can see there's an image.
Oh, either.
Yeah, there's an image there, like an actual etching of some historic event that's behind all that text. Looks like he's holding an artist's whatchamacallit palette.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, it looked like a stock. I mean, I got it under with a stack of stock certificates. That's what I thought it was. And then I kind of looked at it more closely. I'm like, well, it's not really a stock certificate. It looks like something you would exchange to get, like, it's almost like a coupon book or something. Because I'm assuming reduction means it's some sort of, okay, like Jeweled Mirror Queen says it's like a premium bond. And I actually have one of those too, but I couldn't find it. Because that one actually has the tax stamps on it. This one seems to be something very specific, but there's all this like legal stuff in it that talks about, you know, when you bought the ticket, what the ticket was worth, you know, how many tickets were available.
It's
something
almost like
happened in 1923, something else happened in 1924.
Sales advanced promotion, because this exhibition would have been promoted well in advance to give the international community the time that they needed to build their collection, to go and exhibit. So this would have been planned easily a year in advance. Yeah. And the deco design, that's been around since 1910, cubism and all of that. That's a great piece.
And it looks like a couple of people know French, so that's why I'm trying to hold it still enough for those that might know it could maybe figure out some of the pieces of it. You get reductions in certain things like flights, cinemas, etc. So it's something like you kind of bought, like I think she called it a premium bond.
Okay.
You had this, and then I don't know, maybe you got a tax stamp or they punched it or something. That's how you keep track of your discounts. So this is why I love ephemera. It's why I love history. Well, Jeweled Mirror Queen is French. Okay, so she totally knows what this is.
Let's stay, Patrick. I want to stay on this. We need to spend more time on this. Hold it back up there. Jeweled Mirror Queen says, I am French. Can you tell us more? I did see 1923. I thought.
Let me start with this one.
I thought I saw 1923 down at the bottom.
So this one says Article 5 of the Convention of March 18th, 1923. So I think this is actually what actually explains some of it.
Oh, but hold still, Patrick.
I'm trying.
Okay, but wait a minute. Then up above it says Paris 1925. Okay, right. So this really is some type of early promotional piece for this 1925 modern exhibition. This is fantastic.
So tirages is door prizes. Is what Wordsmith is saying. I don't know what talon is. Talon.
Well, whatever it is, it's promoting one of the most famous exhibitions in decorative arts that is known. That's wonderful.
So like this is kind of like the legal. This is why I thought it was I thought it was part of a stock, because like Article 4. It seems like there's legal stuff on the back of this.
Yeah. Well.
So yeah, it's just a fun thing, and I'm glad people are interested in it. It's like I love this kind of stuff, but I can't research everything. So in some cases, it's like, you know what, it's kind of cool. I didn't know enough to list it on eBay, so it's just been sitting in a stack. Well, and that's why these sales are fun, because I can kind of explain it more and show things in more up close, and you get people like Jeweled Mirror Queen. It's like, hey, I can translate that for you.
Well.
All right, so let's go ahead. We're at the top of the hour, so let's go ahead and count it down. So So I think there are a couple of bids. So we'll do 10.
I don't. Go ahead. Yes.
No, go ahead. What do you have a question?
There are bids. I don't remember where we are. 21, 22, something like that, which is a steal. So
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'm glad people were interested in it.
And the stop is in there, and let me hit the refresh button. And my computer at the moment is being a poopy head. So
let me refresh mine really quick.
I think Jeffrey Reed may be the winner at 28.
Yep, I have Jeffrey Reed right before the stop at 28. All right, great. Thank you, Jeffrey. It be yours.
Now, Jeffrey, you have an assignment. Your assignment is to find a Frenchman or French woman or French person and get that thing translated. We want to know exactly what it says. That was wonderful. Hey, Patrick, it is 10:01. I've got some other things, but I respect everybody's time. I'm going to cut this short. I want to give you another 5 or 10 minutes or so because you've got some really neat. Old Curiosity Shop, can you post your email real quick? I can. Give me just a moment. Patrick, I'm going to put you solo. You take the screen. You've got some extra things that didn't sell but should have sold. Let's see. We got 301 folk here. I'll put my email in, and it's all yours now.
So there are a couple of questions after I took it down about the tablecloth. Whether you could use it as a summer coverlet, anything like that. And of course, any gigantic piece of fabric, including those curtain panels, can be used for whatever you would like. So if anyone would like me to rerun this one was a $25 start. I also had early on, so people may not have been here for it, I have the Gardener Answer Book. This was, I think it was an $8 start. The set of 1970s cigarette cards that were an entire set of 24 that were all automobile related. This was a $10 start. The punch cards were $10 each. I actually have 3 of those. And the mask was a $10 start. So if anyone would like me to rerun any of those, I will do so. And if not, I'm going to sneak one last item in because I think it screams Scott.
Right ahead.
It screams Scott. It screams this channel. It is a piece of fabric. From a distance, it looks like something like some of the runners that Scott has had, but this is actually a shawl. So, or a pashmina or whatever you would like to call it. It is 28 inches by 66.
Oh, that's nice.
It is very lightweight. It is double-sided because it is woven. So it is double-sided, and it is an absolutely gorgeous plum, purple, and gold.
Wow.
So hopefully that colors, it's coming across pretty nicely for me, but hopefully you guys can see it because Scott's was not looking purple in his curtain. So I'm not sure how mine's coming across. It is a beautiful paisley design, and I will try and stand up so you can see the whole thing. And I'm sorry, this was a $20 start.
Okay.
So you've got this absolutely gorgeous kind of like it's purpley plummy color, but mostly gold. And it's a big piece. So again, it's 28 in its width, top to bottom. It is fringed, and edge to edge, not counting the fringe, makes it 66.
You do have a start.
Excellent. It's super, super lightweight. So it'd be great for like this spring weather as it's starting to change a little bit more, admittedly, maybe more of a autumn colors. But to me, Purple's my color. I love purple. I would wear this. Well, I wouldn't wear it, but this color I would wear anytime. It would not need to wait for fall. It's just got some beautiful design. I mean, you can even tell it's very flowy. It's like there, it's just super, super lightweight. So I unfortunately, there's no labels or anything in it. So I don't really know the age, and I could not 100% tell you what it's made out of. It feels like silk, but I'm not an expert in anything other than quilt fabric. But hopefully you can see, actually the back shows it better. Hopefully you can see the lights picking up some of the metallic gold, because there is a metallic gold thread woven through this. So it just has this great shimmering effect, which probably isn't showing like super, super well here.
Oh, I see it.
But, you know, again, it's like, if you can just see how much movement this has, and size wise, you know, I'm a pretty decent sized guy. It wraps a lot. So we had Scott showing off his wrapped curtains. I can show off my
Wonderful.
my little shawl, my babushka, whatever you want to consider. And you can see, because it's woven, it's the reverse is on the inside. So the inside is mostly gold, where the outside is mostly purple. So it is versatile. It is reversible. And it's just, I didn't purposely keep it till last because I thought it'd be popular. Just got distracted by all the other things that we were doing. So
I think your high bid might be 35 at the moment.
Okay. I know we're past the time, so I want to be respectful of everyone's time as well. So I will start the counting down.
Okay.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And you are absolutely correct, Tina. It would make a beautiful tablecloth as well.
Or a piano shawl.
Yep. All right. So I'm watching for the stop.
There it is.
All right. So I'm backing up. Yep. It looks like Pam Avery then was the...
Pam got it.
Yep. Thank you, Pam.
Well, Patrick, you brought the goods tonight. And I am so excited to have this new every third Monday night of the month. It's the Unbreakables. And you see right here tonight,
we're the fourth. This is the fourth Monday.
The fourth. Is it? Yes, that's right. The extra.
Yeah, because this month we actually have 5. So
right.
yeah.
I'll be back Monday night with an extra Old Curiosity Shop live sale. So that's wonderful. Listen, thank you. We had 300. We topped off at about 301 folks tonight. So we're glad you could join us, and don't be shy about letting us know what you want us to look for. We both have a pretty good eye. We look for good quality, and so let us know. You know, if you'd like.
Yeah. My first item was the doilies, and that was a request, because I had not thought to bring the doilies before. And I'm like, wait, I've got doilies. And I ran around my house trying to find them. Just let us know what you like.
And you did. So that's it. I mean, the sale is over. We could chat for, 2 or 3 minutes here, and then we'll call it quits. But once again, thanks, Patrick, and thank you everyone for being here tonight.
And thank you for having me. This is always fun. I actually skipped rehearsal for my show tonight, specifically to be here tonight. So
I see 1920s sheet music. Okay, I'm writing this down. Well, I don't have to write that down. I know.
And somebody requested hat pins. I don't typically carry hat pins, but I can keep an eye out for them.
1920s sheet music and Scotty dogs.
My Scotty dogs are breakable. My Scotty dogs are glass. Patrick, can I get the garden answer book? Sure. I'll add that for you, Tammy.
Fabric and curtains, hat pins. Atomic Space Age, Mid-Century magazines, 1913 to 1941.
Oh, I've got those in spades.
Picture frame. What kind of picture frames are you looking for? That's a
cookbooks I probably got.
But from the what kind of catalogs do you like, Randy? Camera and clock advertising. Okay.
Okay.
Butler Brothers. I'm writing this down.
Those are nice.
Camera, clock.
Can't think I've got anything on I actually do have a whole stash of camera stuff. Camera ephemera. I did a video on it and I still have it all.
Wooden frames from the 1930s. I've got plenty of them. Sears and such. Okay, Montgomery Ward. Gotcha. I hear you. I see it, Randy. Okay. 20s, 30s, 40s.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit I branched out a little bit while we went Unbreakables because sometimes the ephemera, there wasn't as big of an audience for it. So we broadened it, but it sounds like people still want the ephemera. So I can definitely, I've got all stacks of it. So I can definitely bring out some of this.
Poodle. Listen, you better watch out what you ask for because I will find you a finial from an 1880s pipe organ. And I'm going to charge you. Old ribbon. Old ribbon? What do you do with old ribbon?
Ribbon. Oh, like typewriter ribbon? I have typewriter tins, but I don't have any typewriter ribbons.
Or decorative.
Oh, larger doilies. I probably have some. I might have some table toppers, like more like 30 inches. Scott's was kind of a sweet spot size at 20 by 20.
I'll dig up some more organ pipes for you, but I've got one. I've got something for you.
Everyone needed a hair bonnet.
Now, come on now.
Now that seems like a challenge though. Fits all hairdos. There were some big hairdos back then. Metal press stamps. So I don't really come across those.
How many of you remember the old church ladies? If when service was over at noon, if it was raining, they all stood up in the narthex. They wouldn't go outside until they unfolded their little accordion rain hats. I'm old enough to remember that. Come on now. What? You want to know if it fits me? Well, I already modeled my best curtain material. I am not putting that on the top of my head. Your granny Bess wore one. Does anybody have these anymore? I do.
Now we just get wet.
Okay.
Yeah, Baltimore hair couldn't be covered by those.
Patrick, somebody is. Did I put the right thing up there?
Yeah, Benita Taylor.
Did you? Is that something that you want to work out with Benita?
Yeah. I mean, I guess unless anyone else was interested in it, I'll just sell it to Benita for the opening bid of 25, which makes me wish I'd started at a higher price, but that's okay. So
did she bid? Did you guys? Okay.
So Benita Taylor, you will get it for, unless somebody else wants me to rerun it, we will just say that tablecloth was $25, which was the opening bid. Thank you, Benita.
Okay, so we made note of some things, and okay, thank you. Oh, Rick, I know that your box didn't arrive at your house yet. It should be there any day.
Just really quick, because Benita's offering me to rerun it, I don't want to waste everyone's time. So if there was anyone else who wanted it, this was the embroidery on it.
Let me put you solo and let you run it up, okay?
And we're just going to do this really quick because I've already shown it before.
Okay.
But we've got people that weren't here. So that's the corner of it. The size was, I lost my little, there it is. The size was 64 by 98. So it's a beastie. And it has 3 strips of fabric that's manufactured under.
Okay, Marjorie, I see Irish memorabilia. Got it.
25 is the start if anyone wants to bid it up. But this is the embroidered pattern. And it is open in the middle to showcase if you have a centerpiece. It actually is open. And the decorative stitch that you see running vertically, it actually sews the pieces of fabric together for the length. So there's 3 separate panels. So that's what it was. It's just, I love the embroidery because it's very lightweight. It's very, I was saying it was wispy with some beautiful colors. Somebody said watermelon glass would look fantastic on this, and I 100% agree. But this was a $25 start. Benita wants it at $25. So if anyone wants to add on to it, otherwise I'm just going to go ahead and start counting it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And it is Benita's at 25. But thank you. That's very kind of you, Benita, to offer it to go as to rerun it. It would have been yours fair and square regardless. So thank you for asking.
This crowd is the best.
You are.
They are.
I'm always honored to be part of the Scott's team.
Trust me. They put up with my late shipping. Scott, when am I going to get my... I'm terrible with shipping. I'm getting better at it. I've had problems, but I'm working on it. So I am getting better. I have a plan to cut, 2 or 3 days off of the time it takes for things to be shipped. And so, but I do appreciate everybody's patience with that. Patrick, what's coming up this week for you?
The rest for me, actually, I don't do as much on my channel as I'd like to. I am currently in rehearsals for a show, and we open next week. So I kind of focused on that. However, on Sunday, Scott and I are going to be guests on the Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties YouTube channel for an hour, where we're going to be doing a joint sale with Beth from Carolina Princess, Dolores from Miss Dam Jewelry, and Scott and I will have 1 hour of a shared seller event, 2 p.m. Eastern, this coming Sunday, the 28th.
Yes, that's the tea party. That's everything is tea party themed.
Yes, and everything will be tea party themed.
Now, if they want to join us on to who?
So it's the YouTube channel is Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties. If you look for Carolina Princess, you'll be able to find it.
Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties.
Yes, I'll put it into the chat.
Okay.
So people can actually see it. And she's also on Instagram under Sweet Treats and Pretties. But her name is Beth. And I did her first live sale ever was on my channel. So we do a lot of stuff together. And she's organizing this group event. And Scott and I have agreed to go on for an hour. So we probably won't have that many items, probably like 5 or 6 items each, because there's 4 of us selling within that hour. But they will all be tea themed, and they could be breakable. So we won't be limited to the unbreakable times.
Yep. Excellent. So we'll see you Sunday afternoon.
Oh, and thank you, KP. I just realized you put it in there too. I didn't have my cheaters on. So
thank you. So it's in there.
Yes, tea party theme. And the tea party theme will be very broadly defined. So I've got, I know one of the items I've got set aside are Victorian trade cards for tea and coffee sellers. So, so that I'll probably have some, maybe a table topper, maybe have a linen in there. And I've got a set of little sake glasses. So again, it'll be a rough theme.
But we won't be selling any used tea bags.
No. Unless you know if you're willing to give up your Marilyn Monroe personalized tea bag that you've held on to.
Secret.
Anyway.
Okay, that's it. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We had 300 folks here tonight, and I'm so glad you spent the time with us. We'll see. Hey, don't forget, there's a lot going on the channels. Thanks for supporting these small businesses. We appreciate it. We really do. Okay, that's it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Toodles. Now I have to hit the right button.
Yes.
All right, Patrick, hold on. Let me get my... There it is.
Getting old. Pull out the cheaters.
Wham-a-lamma ding dong.
Bye, everybody.